Dodge, Yahoo, Phantom of the Forest, you Spear, Finger, Fire Dragon, Ohio Grassman, Silver Giant, Bloodless Howler, West Virginia Vampire, Coyote King, Hogzilla, Devil, Dark Coyote Killer. Cave creature, Mothman, Smoke Wolf, Lizard, Demon, Ashman, Grafton Monster, Cow-killing Bastard, Shadow Creature, Dustman, Cherokee, Death Cat, Wild Man, Great Fire Rape, what else do I have to say? Steal yourself some chicken wire, and I'll get some lumber, catch the Thunder Brothers. Don't you dare get out of the golf cart. We can keep our big seats while we hunt the big feet. Snarly Gastro Team, Red Island Bear Beast, Silver Giant, Squalling Savage, Black Wolf was kind of average, Stone Giant, Raven Mocker, Midnight Whistler, Wampus Beast, Wawa Woman, Ohio Grassman again. Technically Huckleberry, Wolfman or Wolf County, need to find the X again if we hunt the Lightning Man. Webster's Werewolf, Daily Howl, Kentucky Hellhound, Little Girl, Headless Horror, I can't take it anymore. Steal yourself some chicken wire, and I'll get some lumber, catch the Thunder Brothers. Don't you dare get out of the golf cart. We can keep our big seats while we hunt the big feet.
Well, this here's Big Feets, the only Mountain Monsters watch-along podcast. I'm Robert Brockway, and I legally have to tell you guys something. The law forces me to disclose that I am on the watch list for weird old men who fight teens in the woods.
And I'm Sean, baby. As much as I liked Jean-Claude, and despite the many similarities that existed between us, I knew that we would never be close friends. Not only did my covert activities preclude close friendships, but he was determined at all cost to make it in the business. I admired that determination, but it also meant that friendship came second to success. He wasn't afraid to fight with anyone to get his own way. During the shooting of Bloodsport, I quietly bit my tongue as he delivered a constant barrage of criticism while reviewing the dailies. Jean-Claude did have a basis for some complaints. He expected to be cast opposite real fighters. We did have some good ones, like Paulo Toca, the first Muay Thai champion to fight in mainland China. But the majority of the cast had little or no martial arts training, and some were actually male strippers.
And I am TikTok influencer and author Jason Pargin.
Okay, can we guess which ones?
I'm going to say 0. I don't think there was a single male stripper in the movie Bloodsport.
Monkey guy.
Oh, yeah,
Monkey
you're right.
style
That
guy.
Dude had an allure about him.
Sumo guy?
Oh, yeah,
Sumo
you're right.
guy for
Yeah,
sure.
that guy definitely. I think he was actually at my wife's bachelorette party.
Anyway, that's the reason Van Damme didn't want to be friends. End of chapter.
A lot of people ask why I'm not friends with Jean-Claude Van Damme. Because of the...
He didn't want to be.
Yeah, because he didn't want it. My spy stuff, mostly my spy stuff gets in the way.
He didn't like how I was taller than him.
And better looking, obviously, despite our many similarities. I'm kind of a handsome movie star myself.
Okay. We'll save it. We'll save it for... actually, well, that's a good segue. We'll save it for what, Sean?
Our other podcast, the Dog Zone 9000, will, at the time you're listening to this, probably be about the Secret Man, Frank Duke's Secret podcast.
Yeah, we've threatened to do it. We thought we were joking when we threatened to do it, but now we are several episodes in, and I will spoil a little something here. When we started it, Sean did say, Frank Duke's podcast about this book, that's only we'll be lucky if we get 3 episodes out of that. We're already 3 episodes in. What page are we on, Sean?
I think we're on 20-ish.
Page 20. How many pages are in this book?
So it's 300-something.
So we're going to be doing that. I hope you like it for at least a year.
Yeah.
For a year from now, we're going to be doing that. Up until then, we're doing this. This is our Mountain Monsters Watch-Along podcast. It used to be a hillbilly cryptid reality show where they hunt Bigfoot or pretend to hunt Bigfoot. It is now a serial exploration of man's failures and like his hubris in attempting to create art, I guess. I mean, it's anybody's guess. Before we get to that, where can people find more from you, Jason?
The book is closer than ever to release because that's how time works. It is book 5 in the John Dies at the End series titled There Are No Giant Crabs in This Novel, a novel of giant crabs. If you want a signed hardcover, you can get them at bit.ly/signmycrab. SIGN.
I like that the weary sigh and long beat is like built into the title of your novel.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't read it any other way than that.
But yes, that is not a bit the part that I will sign them. There's an indie bookstore that's here in the city that I live in where I go in and sign them. And so far, as of this recording, you've ordered 2,000 of them that I have to go in and sign. It takes all day. It is a nightmare. But it's fine. I'm happy to do it. The signed copies cost exactly as much as the ones you would order from Amazon. That place will ship them anywhere. It's exactly the same as ordering them off Amazon, only it has my signature. It costs the same, and you're actually supporting a real brick and mortar bookstore owned by human beings.
It's the only way you're better than actor Kevin Spacey, who charges $130 if you want an autographed class ring featuring Kevin Spacey's character from House of Cards.
Nope, nobody asked why Sean knows that specific information. And why he has that just in the holster, ready to go anytime somebody mentions.
I'm just always in the market for Kevin Spacey products. And when he put out a class ring with some Latin about achieving his goals, I thought I'd really like one of those autographed. And that's when I found out, it's just 130 extra bucks. But they want 12 to 13 weeks to accommodate his busy Hollywood schedule. So.
And I'm just going to point out that Jason is letting you take that fall. He's not going to say a goddamn thing.
And the funny thing is, I think there are some operations where the fans would say, wait, am I supporting you guys buying things from Kevin Spacey? But in this operation, it's just routine in order to study these things. We should not be putting money in Frank Dukes' pocket. He's not a good person.
No.
We're his only source of income right now, I think.
To be fair, though, his book has been out of print for so long. There's no way you can't buy it from any sort of. You probably couldn't buy it from a publisher 4 months after publication date. It's only so the people that we are supporting are real social vampire used book resellers that jack the price up every time they see a surge in demand to $400. We're giving money to those guys. That's fine.
How many? You should give money to the great writers at 1-900-HOT-DOG. Go to patreon.com/1-900-HOT-DOG to support our world-class writing team doing daily articles.
You know what? I'm going to actually make room for that plug. We are approaching the 6th month mark of my book. So unless I have a big sale or something to announce, I'm going to shut up about it. I'm officially announcing that here. I went with a smaller publisher. Let me just explain that for a second. So I went with a smaller publisher because I just did not like my experience with the bigger publishers that I used last time. I don't know. I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but it wasn't what I had in my head of how book publishing and editing was going to be. And I went with this smaller publisher, and it is that. It very much is this sort of ideal version that I had in my head where everybody works together on a book rather than just sort of getting it and then they print it and then it's out there and it's made. It's much more cooperative. And sales numbers are carry that through as well, because I didn't get sales numbers for my first books for a long time, and I still don't. So I did not and continue to not. I don't actually know if they owe me any money, and I have tried many times to find out, and I have had no success. But I ask these guys every month, and so long story short, I found out that while I moved across the country here very recently, as you can see by you guys watching, you can see by my empty house, I found out that while I moved across the country and stopped promoting it, legitimately not a joke, sales went up. I've been able to look, like, every time I do a promotion, like me myself do a promotional effort, I'll do a guest post somewhere, I'll do, an appearance on somebody else's podcast. Every time I do that, I've been able to see through the sales numbers that it has either been absolutely definitively data backed up, no difference in sales on my own promotional efforts, but often a slight dip. So I'm gonna stop. It's doing good. It's doing fine on its own. If you needed this as your reminder, it's your last one. Go buy I Will Kill Your Imaginary Friend for $200. People are saying it's good. People are talking about it. Just not me anymore.
But I did a similar path because the publisher I went with is just owned by a guy named McMillan.
Yeah, Bob.
Yeah, and I talked to him. Nice guy.
Yeah. I got nothing else. I got nothing to say. If you're hoping I'll strangle
Bob.
myself. That space that you've left me. We're watching Mountain Monsters. Episode is called Huckleberry's Monster.
And you know what that means?
Okay.
It could mean either he got some childhood trauma from the monster, or it's the Predator from the hit film Predator.
We haven't started yet, and Jason is so weary he can't continue.
We can't, of all the wells you could come back to, I think scientifically, an elderly man keeps getting molested by big feet. It's scientifically the worst storytelling well you could keep going back to. And I know for a fact that they are playing this up because the episode called Huckleberry's Predator was not one of the ones where he was molested by a Bigfoot. Those sneak up on you. They're just called something else. Yeah. And then it's like, I got it.
Innocent van or bowl of candy, please take one. And
then suddenly Huckleberry's like, I gotta tell something. I gotta share something with you guys, something I never told anybody. It's like, God no.
God damn it.
So it was hard for me to make myself watch this episode. I am pleased to say this is a little bit of a fake out that he does not get in his there's not an explicit sexual element to his encounter. The fact that I have to let the listeners know that because they would otherwise assume is outrageous.
Yeah.
Why are we associated with this? Whose idea was it?
I will say I'm more unhappy to be associated with this directionless flailing that has been happening and than I am making us all watch an elderly man repeatedly shower for a great ape, a mystic missing link between the great apes and man through psychic duress, the showering. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this makes me more uncomfortable. This episode, I think, it makes me more uncomfortable than watching his nude body perform for Bigfoot.
Okay, they did not show that. We only saw the aftermath after the Bigfoot had mind controlled him to try to. What was he? Was he trying to? Let's talk about that again. So
it was a clothing on recreation of the nude shower. He did get back under the Bigfoot shower,
right?
And then he got nude in the truck, and then pissed on himself to warm himself because he was freezing to death.
It's an old Jeff trick.
From remembering the Bigfoot molestation. Anyway, this is the part where we do the previously on. That was previously on. That's the information
that's all you need to know. Yeah. We're coming in on a swamp of fake blood.
That, and they are hunting the Grafton monster, who they say is a 1,500-pound, 7-foot-tall, possibly autistic ape creature who fights by leaping from the trees and just power bombing his enemies below and into like an ape detonation.
This is
that kills all below him.
Full team of shacks. Imagine a team with 5 shacks on it, put into a baler, came out as one big chunk. That's what we're dealing with.
Imagine the agility on that.
The agility. Silence. Imagine the silence.
So we ended last episode and start this episode because they're doing the Korean show thing where they end on the most possibly tense cliffhanger, whether or not it makes any narrative sense. And what they determined, the most tense cliffhanger they had last time was they found what could be dog blood.
Yeah, because they last time, if you don't remember that episode, because it's been a couple weeks for you, they heard a dog being torn apart in the distance. This was part of a comedy bit they were doing, and they went to the scene of it, and they found a massive, what frankly seemed like more than one dog's worth of blood. And then upon finding that blood, they cut to black, because it's like, oh my God, what? Yeah, that's the most tense moment, because is the creature right there? Is the thing it killed right there? Like, it's, oh my gosh, it's a bloodbath in the woods. Pick up from that moment. Here we go. The resolution of that tension that the audience had been at the time holding for an entire week, waiting to find out, oh my God, what's going to happen?
My notes. Time to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, it does say that they just go home.
Time to go home.
Huckleberry literally says the words, is moving too fast.
Like, guys, let me read you the quote, because this is the quote of the series. Huckleberry says, after they come back, it's like, wow, we sure did find all this blood here last week. And Huckleberry says, guys, we've got to slam the brakes on this. We're moving way too fast.
Don't pump them. Don't pump them. That's who you slam. We need to screech to a stop right now.
That's like
There's something I need to talk. There's something I need to talk to you about, but this is not the place to do the talking.
You absolutely are led to believe, based on everything in this show, he's going to reveal another molestation by Bigfoot.
The phrasing he uses is, I need to fill these boys in on something that happened to me that very few people on this earth know about. And
he has to know what conclusion we're jumping to. He has to know. It
can't be us. It can't be us. I will not accept that that's us. He must know what he's doing.
Yeah.
Anyway, as soon as he said that, I was like, oh, thank God, it's not the time that he was molested by Bigfoot, because he did tell everybody in the world that he was molested by Bigfoot. So it's not that.
It's not that. He says, something tells me that this Grafton monster got the taste of blood tonight, and he ain't no ways near done. But I had an issue with that, because if this blood was ever in an animal, it didn't drink any of it. This is the work of a monster who fucking hates blood. And so I guess that's my only note for this scene, is that if you're trying to show that this monster loves blood, no, this monster likes to suck bones and fur, but specifically doesn't eat blood. That's what they've proven.
I have some other notes. My notes... this is kind of an old Jason Pargin, snowflake drifting down through time kind of note, but they now determine what they're going to get into. Sets the scene for this being a single creature that is immortal, right. as they start to do, because that's always Jason's question, is like, is this a species that behaves like this and you're hunting, I don't know, possibly a rogue member of it, or is it one guy who can't die and is just magically tormenting an area's dogs? And they've decided the second one is much more reasonable.
Yeah.
It's a single entity that has been tearing apart dogs for generations in this. So when Huckleberry himself, who was about to tell a story of the last time he encountered this creature tearing apart a dog, says, it just got its first taste of blood tonight. I have a note about that. I think he might want to rephrase it a little bit.
Yeah. We're getting
so he gathers them all. He gathers all the boys around the fire. They've left.
This is the next night or whatever, and they're in that campfire set where they've got like these artificial stumps for them to sit on. They're all equally spaced around the fire, and they've got like tiki torches. It's disarranged. It's like a set. I'm not sure saying it's a soundstage, but they've got this fake campfire. It's like a perfect campfire, like in old sitcoms when they would have the hunting episode, and it's got like the stones around the campfire and the log. Like I don't know if they just have this stuff with them, or if they go back and shoot it, or if it is a soundstage.
It probably is a soundstage, because I haven't watched it yet, but I assume this is the whole soundstage for the behind the talking about mountain monsters series that they did for a single season called Around the Fire. I assume this is Around the Fire. We're going to get to hopefully just one episode of that. We'll cover if there's anything interesting that happens in watching the mountain monsters guys watch themselves do nothing. Doesn't seem promising. Not hold my breath on that one, but I think that's like they've already done that at this point. So this is like just pure being economical. We've got to get all the use we can out of that set. So this is now where we meet up. We meet up on the soundstage here. Okay, so Huckleberry's story. He says he's going to tell them a story of when he was 14 years old back in 1968, which I think is pretty close to the last time he told them a story.
Okay, let me give you the exact timeline down to the month. Because he says, I'm going to tell you a story incident I had when I was 14 years old, 1968, with the Grafton Monster. When we reference Huckleberry being molested by a Bigfoot, which I realize some of you who don't memorize every episode have no idea why we keep saying that. It was the Ashman episode, where he said that they came to his house because he was so upset. And he explained that he had never told them that when he was 16 years old in 1969, the year and a half after this incident, he and his brother went out on their property. They saw a single Bigfoot arm come up behind a hill, and his story ends. And he says, I was instructed afterward to never tell anyone about it. By my family, everyone told me when it got out at school what had happened. I was kicked out of school. I was not able to get work. Like, this ruined my life. I can't sleep. Like, I have not known peace since that day, since that thing that happened that I could not talk to you about. And so he spent the rest of the episode like trying to get back at the Ashman, which lived in his yard 47 years later or whatever, when that episode takes place. That was that. So this incident he's about to convey happened a year before that, on a trip to Grafton, where the Grafton Monster lives. Why it's called that.
Okay, remember, last season, full canonical reset. Nothing before last season in their timeline ever happened. They're making it up like we just encountered. So I think Huckleberry took that knowledge and was like, all right, listen, boys, if we're starting the show all over again, I do have some regrets. It mostly, I don't know if this is going to come as a surprise to anybody, mostly revolves around all the times that I said Bigfoot molested me. I'm going to, if we're doing some retcons, like Wild Bill's a tracker now, he's got super senses, I wasn't molested by Bigfoot. That's the new universe.
It's a good...
so I think this is his way of taking that back, but still having a cool origin story. So his origin story is that his dad and his uncle took him hunting up near Grafton. And long story short, their hunting dogs started flipping out. And it was the Grafton Monster. And he encountered it alone at night. And he had a big old-timey flashlight on him. And he shined it on the monster, and they were frozen in time for that moment. And I'll just let him. He's better at describing things than me. Huckleberry says, I watched the muscles in his chest. I watched the muscles in its stomach, in its legs. I couldn't move. It paralyzed me. Hot as shit. You had a chance. You had a chance to not make this weirdly sexual.
Yeah, he made it real sexual.
You immediately burned your retcon. Oh, you were so close to free. Okay, he says his dogs took off, but his favorite dog, Bo, went to fight the Grafton Monster, and the Grafton Monster made a noise that Huckleberry describes as pure, evil anger. So it doesn't like to play with dogs anymore. Right. That's how they started this. They started this whole methodology. It plays with dogs. It gets too rough. Now it's specifically a Bigfoot who hates dogs.
It's a dog murderer.
It's a dog-murdering, serial-killing, dog-murdering Bigfoot of pure evil.
And so his dad says, it's time to go. The car. And I'm sure that in the story, his dad would have been yelling, go, go, go. But I love to imagine
Time
like,
to go, son.
time to
Get
go.
out of here. I do like that he's been hunting the same way for 50 years. They're like, oh, there's the monster we're looking for. Yeah, we should probably get back.
So Huckleberry, the Huckleberry left, and he heard his dog die. The most pitiful sound went through the woods that anybody's ever heard. And when he came back, he found his dog hanging from a tree, upside down, skinned, with its spine and skull missing. And like some sort of sick trophy had been taken from it.
Its intestines were hanging from a tree.
Okay,
like,
he doesn't
like
go
a
full
garland.
Predator, but he definitely got this vibe from Predator. He's he
No,
comes
yeah,
back.
I'm sorry.
He comes back and says the dog's intestines were hanging from the tree and pieces of it were everywhere. And it's very much the, like, you can feel him recreating that scene in Predator where they're like, oh my God.
But here's why this is fucking crazy to me. For a lot of reasons, okay? But, like, they've been hunting the Grafton Monster for weeks. Right now, the Ames team in the modern times been hunting for weeks. The second they mentioned him, he should have said, oh, the Grafton Monster. How do I know that name? Oh, right. He looked me right in the eye and exploded my dog when I was in high school. Because
No, here's the problem. No, stop. The episode from The Hunt from 2013 is canon. Mm-hmm. The only reason they know that this is the Grafton Monster is because Buck gathered them around and said, hey, I had Colt pull the sound clip from when we hunted it in 2013,
right.
9 years ago.
Right.
And listen, they're identical. We went to Grafton. We're now in the Tiger Valley. It's only 50 miles away, so it goes back and forth.
Sure.
We've established. So now, if you go back and watch the original Grafton Monster episode, as I did, and imagine Huckleberry, like the whole time he has this knowledge of like, oh yeah, this thing tore my dog apart when I was 14 years old. I made eye contact with it. My dog sacrificed itself so I could get away. Otherwise it would have killed me, my dad's friend that he hunts with, both of our other dogs. If you go back and watch that episode from 2014, like that's the one where it begins with, it was Jeff had a video and made them gather around the bed of the truck. Instead of doing the truck briefing, he had his laptop. And they had they did an effect or whatever it was, but it was like a shadow, and they're like, that's the Grafton Monster. And it cut to Huckleberry saying, yeah, the legend, this thing goes back to the 1960s. I remember so to have this video is very exciting. And then they actually did this thing where they speculated, they talked to the first witness back then. It was the guy named Wolfie. And that was the witness where Jeff shows up and immediately says, wow, one of your bulls has got a giant cock. And Wolfie said, yeah, he's got the length and the girth. And they started talking about
this fucking show.
I remember when it used to be this good.
That first witness, the whole thing they speculated was, does the Grafton Monster eat meat? Mm-hmm. Because the whole deal was, and so you actually had a quote from Huckleberry to camera, like speculating. It's like, well, yeah, this thing may have a taste of meat. So the idea, like, they should be asking him, it's like, oh, stop. Why? There's nothing. We understand why you sat on the other stories. And right. In fact, the one about you showering for Bigfoot, we actually wish you had continued to suppress that. But what's your reasoning for suppressing this? Why are you in universe? What's your reason for sitting on this for a decade after we needed to know this put us in danger last time?
Like, okay, we all share sort of personal connections to situations. Like I spent a few weeks in Mexico, and so maybe every 5 times I see Chichen Itza in a movie, I'll be like, oh, I've been there. But if my dog got ripped to pieces on a field trip there, I would bring it up every single time. Every single thing. If you said, hey, let's get Taco Bell for dinner, I'd say, I was in Mexico and my dog was ripped apart by the Grafton Monster there. Every time.
That's why nobody invites you to Taco Bell. You remember all of the dog fighters that are adjacent to that. It's. Do you think that the point where Buck, like the exact moment where Buck reached out and played like the clip from the old episode, do you think like in universe, as canon ruptured, did all of the Bigfoot molestation just come flooding back into his brain at the same time? That explained like why he was giggling in that rearview mirror. His brain just totally broken last episode. Like he's just you can't like you barely manage that level of trauma over a lifetime, and to have it all reinflicted instantly like that.
Well, again, you think about the context here, because they were about to hunt it, and then he makes them abandon the hunt. It's like, no, there's something I got to tell you guys. And then after the story, he says, well, the reason I wanted to tell you guys that story, which is a crazy thing to say. It's like, no, this would be like if somebody told you your house was on fire, and then once you get out in the yard, they're like, now, the reason I wanted to get you out of that fire, it's like, no, it's obvious why. He's like, the reason I want to tell you that story is because we're getting way too loose. We're letting too much bleep slide. We're letting too much cum slide by.
Agree.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought he was this was them like resetting, saying, hey, we did 7 goddamn comedy bits in that previous episode. We're hunting a thing that can rip the head off of a 1,200-pound cow. That's the first thing we found out about it, is it rips, remember? Mm-hmm. The skull they found? It rips the heads off cows. Like, but that's not, instead Buck says, well, what do you mean? and then Huckleberry, this leads into the next section that Huckleberry is going to do, but it's like, well, how does this raise the stakes? We already knew it killed dogs. We saw it do it. The only thing we learn is that it's like, well, because his story doesn't take place in Tiger Valley. They traveled to Grafton where they already knew it lives. It's like, yeah, it kills dogs here and there. It travels, got a vacation home here, whatever.
Maybe drives a truck. That's how it's able to spread the murders out over the whole country.
He never actually gets to the point that we obviously thought he was going to get to, where it's like we're clowning around too much in the woods. He's like, we're too loose. What we need is more puzzles in the story.
Yeah, because he's like, we're going to go. I need to go show you something in the truck.
Well, he says they're too loose because they've overlooked this whole time a vital piece of the puzzle. Right. And he can't believe normally they would be so on their game. They'd be
on the ball. These guys are puzzle masters. We've seen them. The Squatch body.
Reasoning.
It took them just 7 years to
not get it correctly.
To go to that one cabin that they had a map to.
By the way, I would love if before he took them to the truck, if Buck just stopped and said, hold on, are there any more encounters from your youth that you can just tell us now? Just get them all out now instead of saving them.
They were literally on its trip. It had just exploded a dog. They were inches away from the monster they were hunting. And he's like, guys, time out. There's some childhood trauma I need to talk about.
Let me tell you about something it did half a century ago. All right, yeah, that's far more urgent than what. Anyway, so they actually cut to an ad break to build up the suspense of what he's got in the bed of his truck. So this is going to be good.
Hold on. Before they cut, the last sentence before they cut to that ad break, because he says he's got the answers in the back of his truck. Which, first of all, don't follow him. Don't follow him when he says that. Second of all, they all are like instantly on board. They're all like, oh my God. And no questions. Nobody has any questions about that. They all just want to know what could he have in the back of his truck. Willie gets the last line right before the commercial break, and he says it, and I'm going to try to do it justice. He says it like this. What do you got in the back of your truck? Like he delivers it exactly like Brad Pitt says, what's in the box?
Yeah. Or
what's in the box?
The way I would have said it if I were there. And I had no means of escape.
Yeah, because it is such a long walk. He's like, you boys want to go for a walk? Sure. Yeah, you ready to see what's in the back of that truck? Oh, the mystery. You're like, dude, calm the fuck on.
Yelling at the horror movie. Don't go in there. Don't go in there. So they come back to Huck, saying, come follow me in a truck. They go to the truck. The truck... It's not just out by the fire. It's in an immense hangar or barn of some kind that is completely empty and dark. save for his dramatically lit truck in the dead center of it. Again, what needs to happen for you to run? Like, what is the cue for you to not go to the shrine of honor, the slaughter spot, where he will immortalize you forever as one of his victims?
This fucking idiot, he says we were so focused on Bigfoot that we overlooked the Grafton Monster. And my notes turn to all caps, and it says, no, they didn't. They switched from Bigfoot to Grafton Monster instantly and completely like 3 episodes ago, you stupid fuck. That's just what it says in my notes. I'm just reading my notes.
So he shows them, he finally, after more, I'm not going to go through the whole build-up because they kill a lot of minutes on this.
Yeah, they do.
He brings out from the back of his truck the box that Trapper's daughter Laura gave him that just had all of his old crap in it that might have been or might not have been about Bigfoot. And he says there's something in here that we overlooked. And he brings out a huge dog chain, immense dog chain that would have filled half that box. It says Gus on it, and they all overlooked this at the time.
It was one of like the 6 things in the box.
Because nobody remembers Trapper having a dog named Gus, and they would know about all the dogs that Trapper's ever had in his life because Trapper kept a special dog graveyard in his backyard and made them all memorize every headstone.
They cut to Trapper's dog graveyard, and then you find out, oh, he did not actually have a dog graveyard. You were forced to make one for this photo.
Like a haunted house.
It is a haunted house. It's a stick with a little vertical, a little horizontal, little, it says from Spirit Halloween. It's like a little where you can put, and so that you paint on the name of it. It's like Rover, you know, whatever, all the
Dog
different, and there's
3.
8 of them with like little dirt patches, neat, like they're still fresh dirt patches. Like
they exhumed the dogs
all at the same
to
time.
stage the photo.
Full like haunted house.
It's a
Am I crazy?
Cartoon. Yeah, it's like a haunted house scene.
It made a
not like a
murdered
good
dog
one.
haunted house.
Am I crazy, or did they once find a dog grave that had the word Gus on it?
That was from episode 0 that we watched.
Of Sons of Appalachia. Sean,
Okay.
the Gus the dog
Okay.
story arc
That makes sense now.
spans half a decade
Right.
into the future of what we're watching right now.
Too
Do
good
you
to let go.
understand? Across multiple franchises,
Yep.
this is the beginning of the Gus the dog mystery.
That makes sense.
I love that we one of the few things we know is that they do not drop this. You're like, how much mileage could they possibly get out of Trapper had a secret dog family?
Immediately they're like, well, Gus, there was no grave for a Gus. And Huckleberry's like, the reason there's no grave is because there's no body. And everybody's like,
Oh,
they're like, or he just buried it somewhere else, or else just it had it cremated, or I don't know, they got
what's
hit
the,
on
like-
the highway and they didn't bring it back home.
What's the like Law and Order? The Law and Order beat they would use there. Just replace it with barks. Bark, bark. Dog mystery. Dog murder mystery.
I really love that you can't make a dog grave without a dog body. It's like a really funny rule for a dog graveyard.
But they just did so many. They broke so many rules.
They know personally that's not true because they made a fake dog graveyard just now.
So they go
Buck's
and they
like-
flash back to all the dog collars that they found in the last 2 seasons, teasing the mystery of the missing dogs. You don't have a mystery. You know for a fact that the Bigfoot killed them.
Yeah.
Right. Buck says, we know there's a mystery when it comes to these dogs. Like, that would be fine if you had started the episode with, we found a bunch of these collars. We don't know what's killed them. No, you've well established it's a mentally challenged Bigfoot type creature that plays with them too hard. Like, you've done like 6 episodes spanning into last season on what's killing these dogs. What's the mystery? What's the thing you think you're trying to find out? Just establish that before you.
I mean, there were 2 options. It was either a mentally challenged Bigfoot that Lenny's all of the dogs and has to live with that trauma without ever fully appreciating the depth of it. Just so sad. Or it's an at least 70-year-old pervert Bigfoot that gets off on killing dogs in front of kids.
They're both funny. They're both funny options.
Either way, the Grafton monster kills the dogs. That was the point of Huckleberry's story. So, but
I worry that the way that we're talking about it makes it seem like it's not interminable. Like it's not just an exhausting slog to get here. This information's coming hot and fast. Trapper had a dog is what we've established so far. I'm worried that through the magic of podcasting, you're not appreciating that this took fucking 10 minutes in the show to unspool, to let the reveal just build itself naturally so the people can solve it themselves. He had a dog named Gus that went missing in the Tigric Valley. And there is amidst all of this a very kind of blink and you'll miss it thing, in that Huckleberry starts pulling out photographs, old photographs of Trapper in the Tigric Valley. And one of them has him with Gus, but another has him with an oil rig way out, a solo oil rig way out in the middle of nowhere. And they'd have a really cool, like, long distance shot of just these deep primeval woods, and then a single, like, oil rig out there for drilling. And you're like, fuck, he's out in the middle of nowhere, all alone. And you're like, are they setting up that Trapper dug too deep?
Oh, that would have been...
Trapper, like the greedy dwarves, dug too deep, released all of the big feet to rampage across the world. That was why he had to pursue this later in life. It was his fault.
His responsibility, yeah.
He had to try to make it right.
Now, you did skip over something important, which is because the listeners are saying, well, that kind of makes these guys seem like not very good investigators, that they didn't notice this 2-pound dog chain in a shoebox, like literally a wooden shoe shine box. And he's like, we missed something. This big pulling this chain out of it, almost like a clown. But then he says, and then I noticed the bottom of the box there's a false bottom. It's like contact paper. And I pulled it up and I found photographs under there that had been hidden in this false bottom of the box. And I'll tell you right now, elderly family member leaves you a box of his mementos, and you find out that in that box there's a false bottom with a bunch of Polaroids in there. Here's what you do. You go out in your backyard and you start a fire. You don't look at those pictures.
Look at those. Your grandma's
you take
in those
that
pictures.
Whole box. Don't take them out. Take that whole box. You put that whole box in the fire, and you let it burn good. Yep. You let it burn down to ashes. You don't tell nobody about it. You don't talk about it. You don't look too close at those ashes when you rake them away into the dirt and cover it up.
Yeah, to think that like the innocence of having looked at those Polaroids and just discovered, oh, he's been playing Bigfoot all of his adult life. Like, oh, thank God.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, because again, the hidden photos are again, oil well. Trapper standing next to oil well, Trapper with his dog, like that dog, that must be Gus. It's like, okay. So it probably died here rather than at his house, and he buried it somewhere in the Tiger Valley. That doesn't imply that it was eaten by a Bigfoot. There's lots of ways it could have just died of old age. They forget to add that part, is what I'm saying. I'm going to spoil it for the rest of this sequence, which, by the way, they're about to cut to another ad break.
Yeah, your fourth commercial break?
In the course of going through this box, like that's how drawn out this is. They use an entire segment, and anyway, that's all they get from this. Is that Trapper had a dog named, and we think it was the one we saw when he was down here at doing work in the Tiger Valley, and he apparently did oil well work. That's it. That's the end of the revelations. But there's one more thing.
The silver bullet Huckleberry pulls out. He makes Buck. This is an audience participation kind of reveal. He makes Buck hold up Trapper's journal with the weird Pathfinder symbol on the front of it. And then he peels away the contact paper at the bottom of the box to reveal the exact same symbol.
Fuck.
My God, this box belonged to Trapper.
Are you telling me that dog from the photo is the Gus? The dog from the collar? And now we find out
it's all coming together.
The guy who... Oh, fuck!
The pieces are
This means everything!
Oh. It proves literally nothing except that the box belonged to Trapper, given to them by his daughter Laura, who said this box belongs to Trapper.
This belonged to Trapper. Let's call it a night. Wait, there's no way that's what they did, right? Nope.
They don't even have a theory of like,
Checking
now
my
we
notes.
have to find out what this symbol means. The reveal is enough for them.
That's enough. These fuckers had an 8-minute, like, blue sky puzzle master meeting. Just like, what do you think this means? Oh, I don't even want to get into it. Yeah, let's all drive home. That's enough for the day.
Buck says, we've just found a huge piece of the puzzle that we've been missing. Time to get back to the hotel. This was it. This was the one thing we had to do today was
determine whether or not Trapper had a dog.
This is like having a board game night, and instead of like getting through the instructions, you look at the cover of the box, and everyone's like, all right, that's enough fucking board game night.
And then somebody comes along with the bottom of the box, and you hold them side by side and go, my God, the same name is on both of these boxes. It's the same game.
We solved it.
And how admirable is it that none of us have pointed out that the Pathfinder symbol we keep describing is a butthole? It's just line, coming out from like a center point.
Yeah.
It's and a then butthole with a lot of problems on
under
it. Yeah.
the slogan, for every destination, there's a right and a wrong path.
It really is.
A little drawing of a butthole.
It really is the gayest show that's ever been.
So they leave having accomplished proving that Trapper had a dog one time, and he did not tell them. His secret dog family. My God. The next day they come out, and Wild Bill is coming into this scene alone with us as the cameraman is on him. So the audience is coming in with him, and Wild Bill is speeding along in the little forest golf cart, and he hears the naughtiest, most ribald giggling coming from around the corner of several men, all just giggling. And he comes around the corner, and there's no way to say this that's not going to sound like I'm making it up. I promise this is true. He comes around the corner to see the entire team. This is not one of our bits that we make where we put money in the jar afterwards. He comes across to see the entire team duct taping Jeff's entire body, starting from the ground up and having just finished his dick. He's got his hair and beard up in saucy little ponytails. Mm-hmm. They're doing a little heavy bondage goofing. The full duct tape wrap is not like bondage play. And Buck turns to him, still giggling, and says, "We need to do this. It's a hillbilly hazmat suit." And that's one explanation. And what he doesn't explain is why, after saying that, he takes Jeff's filthy little ponytail beard and stuffs it in his filthy little puppy dog mouth. And then Jeff starts moaning, so they pull his beard gag out, and he says, "I need to pee." I swear to God, all of that is exactly in that order.
We don't even know why he's doing it yet, and he's already making it a pee-pee thing.
It really turns like you're like, maybe there's something they're going on, but then they start stuffing his own beard in his mouth, and you're like, This is pervert shit. I don't need to see this.
Yeah, he's a pee pervert first, and then explain the hazmat suit second.
So now it's time to do some crotch knife play, which is, again, real hard bondage.
Yeah.
We're ratcheting up.
This is
the
way
levels.
outside
And
my take zone.
They take a blade, and Buck goes down and places a steadying hand on Jeff's crotch area and begins to cut a tiny dick flap so that Jeff can piss out of his hillbilly bondage suit. All of that's true. And then
the
Jeff
audience, just in case they're not watching along with us, he's mummified in the duct tape, so he can't really use his hands. So his hands are kind of T-posed out and stuck that way.
Yeah. He's completely up to his neck now. He's completely wrapped in duct tape.
Yes.
And then Buck, when he pulls that knife, says, "This will be my first robot circumcision." And then, again, the comedy music obviously is playing the whole time. It's the first comedy.
Compared to Bush Light, that is a fucking champion level joke.
And so we get an extreme close-up of Jeff's crotch, duct tape covered crotch, while he inserts the knife and says, "Don't flinch. Flinch could lose an inch." And then Jeff says, "That wouldn't leave but half."
And all of this, remember, all of this is coming while Buck cuts him a vagina hole in his suit. Like a little hole that things can go into and come out of.
And then he waddles away and actually pisses out of the suit and urinates all over himself.
All over.
Listeners do some listeners think we're making this all up?
I hope not anymore. In the early days, legitimately, there were a lot of people not even early days into like season 3 or 4. A lot of people thought that this was all improv from us, and I really want to. I don't think people think that anymore, because if they think that, then they think our improv is revealing something about us, and
Right.
we would not put this much piss play in it. I promise. That's not
Almost certainly.
It's not my thing.
But here's Jeff just handlessly spraying pee. It's not coming out as a stream because I think it's going through his pants and the duct tape labyrinth they've built
He's
around
not
his crotch.
nude under there.
Yeah.
Why would, like, it's not a direct line from the slit to his naked dong. That would be bizarre if it was.
really would
so
be.
the mechanics of this, and if you say, well, maybe they faked it somehow, I don't think they would even know how to do that.
They do specifically show us Jeff pissing. It's from behind, but I did not need to see the actual old man piss come out of his body and splash all over his shoes.
We knew they'd
I feel
get
like
there.
that's
He's like, this is our last season.
They've been escalating.
There's a thing I've been wanting for a while. You keep giving Huckleberry his moments, but how about a Jeff Day? How about we
There's
we
only
wrap,
two options
wrap me up in a duct tape
mechanically.
cocoon and let me pee for everybody? Like, why?
Only two options mechanically. Either when they cut the
No
little
reason.
vagina hole for Jeff.
Oh, and I'll
they
spoil
just-
this now. There's no reason for the hazmat suit. Like,
That was the big
the stated
reveal.
reason gets undone by their actions. Again, we'll get to it, but I don't want anyone thinking there was a fucking reason for any of this. This is pervert shit.
All of this. I just want to slip in real quick. My theory is that Buck had to pull his dick out of the dick hole. That's it, and they cut it. I just like that. That's the implication, because otherwise, how did he pee out of there? How did he
They
pee
would
out
have
of there?
had to have. Oh,
Yeah.
no, okay, we need to stop and talk about this. Because it's hard to explain that Jeff can't get his arms down even if he wants to. They're stretched out. Like he couldn't. So they edited around, it was Buck or somebody, had to go in and get, it would have been impossible otherwise, because the urine would have just gone inside and
Yeah.
just soaked his pants and stuff.
You would
For
have
to
seen it
come
flow
as a
out of his
stream,
boots.
I think Willie's got the most nimble fingers. He'd be your first
True,
choice.
he's agile.
But Wild
prancing.
Bill he doesn't give a fuck. He'd be the one who would
Yeah, he's a
happily
wild card.
get pee-pee all over his hands.
But Buck's got that sexual tension.
Yeah.
They've got that unresolved thing they're doing.
Because it wouldn't have been easy to get to it. Like, once you've got the slip there, you've got to get in there to, like, find what's he wearing under there? Like
Probably overalls.
I mean,
right?
Jason,
Yeah,
that's the
overalls.
point of getting wrapped in duct tape, is you want it to be real hard to get into that.
Yeah. You'd have to climb in there and undo his overalls. It's not.
Yeah, that's-
He peed through the overalls.
That's what he gets out of it.
I don't know how that would work. I truly don't know how it worked. It's so strange. Unless he knew they were going to do this and he already had a dick hole in his overalls. Which is not.
It's possible that he didn't know they were going to do this and already had a dick hole in his overalls.
That's true. There are a lot of ways to get to this this place we've ended up. There's a lot of journeys to
Anyway,
take. to
all
this
of that
destination.
was strictly necessary, as you will see, because they are going to be doing some blood work. And by that, Jeff means he's going to pour hydrogen peroxide on the dog collar to see if it foams up. That's why we needed to do all of the dick and piss bondage play.
They have
That's
two
why it was
collars.
necessary.
They have one that they found, I guess, in the first episode. It was one they found on when they found the rock stacked around the Bigfoot teepee, and then they've of course got Trapper's the collar they pulled out of his box, and they're going to test both of them for blood for some reason that I actually don't understand.
I
because
don't fully
Okay,
understand.
I
the
get
When they
this one
test
because if
the
a
first
dog
collar-
died of a Lenny, if the dog died of a broken neck, fine. That means that's the mentally challenged Bigfoot. But if a dog got completely turned inside out, his collar would be covered in blood, and that's the work of the grafted monster.
You're right. You're trying to
Okay.
decide if it's the Lenny monster or the 70-year-old pervert.
But the first collar that they found at the Grafton Monsters tree structure, when they test it, they're like, "Oh no, that's not blood."
Right.
So
must
is
just
he?
be- must just be
Did
dirt
they
or something.
exonerate Bigfoot?
So what was the point of that? Did you fail to fake it? Did it just not work?
I think that
Or
one got killed by Bigfoot.
okay, But are they sharing that tree structure, Bigfoot and the Grafton Monster? Do they both live there?
It's his little brother. The Grafton Monster is Bigfoot's little brother, and he still has to take care of him. It's actually rather sweet.
Okay.
Okay, I also want to point out that they're doing these tests. Jeff does not have anything on his hands. He's got ungloved hands. And everybody else is handling all these collars. They have been for 50 to 60 years. It's also raining. This is not a controlled environment at all. There was no point to any of the duct tape other than pervert shit.
So, real quick, whose idea was it to tape up Jeff? I think it was maybe Jeff's idea.
Yeah, it might have been.
I think he was like, I've got an experiment, but you're going to all have to tape me up and put your hands on me. Oops, I peed a little. Okay, time to do the experiment. And then it's just fucking baking soda volcano. You're like, no, that's not.
Wait a second. It just now occurred to me that last segment, like, I understand why it had to be. Why couldn't that last segment have been Jeff? The thing, like, why wouldn't it have been their researcher to discover all the crap in the box and to find the puzzle and to find the false bottom in the photos and why wouldn't that be the researcher's job? Because Huckleberry's, remember, his job is security. You
Right.
all well know the roles on this team. He's Bigfoot security. He's the muscle. He's the meathead. Why couldn't it have been Jeff that said, hey, I had an encounter with this thing and I didn't want to tell you guys about it for...
It's been a little while since I've seen the movie.
I think
Was there
signed an
I get it.
NDA?
I know why it is. Huckleberry's the retcon guy. He is the one off camera will go back and add like, oh, remember that log? I went back there and actually found some Bigfoot fur. Or remember that Grafton Monster? Actually, like 50 years ago, he killed my dog. Or, you know, remember that waterfall? I actually did a lot of pervert shit in that waterfall.
I think if it's been a little bit, but I think if we go back and watch Predator, we'll all see the scene where Arnold pulls up the bottom of a box to find little Polaroids of the Predator and his favorite dog. That's probably in one of the new ones. I think there was a dog.
Yeah, the
Predator
Olivia
in
Munn
of the new
one.
ones.
That was like a big B plot.
The Predator the Predator wasn't autistic. The Predator wanted autism for the Predators.
Now people are going to think you're
So-
making it up, but that's the fucking real plot of the Olivia Munn
That's the plot
Terminator.
a Predator. Yeah. It's that autism is the next great leap in mankind's evolution, and the Predators want the ultimate fighter, which of course would be an autistic, very young child. So they come to Earth to steal his autism. That is the plot of the movie Predator by Shane Black. And I think that explains a lot about what we've just seen. What is this Bigfoot? What are they hinting at this Bigfoot being? Now all of a sudden we're doing the whole like the whole plot line to the one of the new Predators. We've been saying he's playing Predator. We've been such fools. We didn't specify which one.
Yes, We'll cut all this, Jamie. We'll cut all of it.
Of course. No, that's really what happened. I'm not making that up. I'm not embellishing.
Can you be blamed for describing the plot of another film that you didn't write? Probably.
I really don't want to. Anyway, we've done a bunch of dipshit CSI pervert stuff to prove a cold case dog murder. That's what the show is now. We did that. That's enough. They get out of there. Next day, they are going to meet with Brad, an eyewitness they say Jeff set up. And Brad is out, of course, Brad is out standing in the middle of a field, in the middle of nowhere, as is tradition. I don't have to tell you that. What I do have to tell you is they've got a new angle and lens. And they've gone with either a drone or just a real high pole angle camera.
That's a drone.
And a wide angle lens, I think, or maybe a fisheye lens, but the lens that makes it look like you're standing on your own little planet. And they've done that to Brad, so it looks like Brad is not only out in the middle of the woods, he's on a little Nemo-style
Little Prince
forest planet.
He is a speck in the middle of this vast emerald world that he's in all by himself. There's no road, there's no vehicle, there's no structure. He exists in this big green void. I laughed so hard because he's just standing there. And again, once they arrive, they're not gonna when he starts discussing his sighting, because obviously he's got a sighting, but the sighting is not it's not like, hey, I'm standing here because this was the very spot. It's like, oh no, siding was way the hell down.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Couple hills over.
why are you standing in the middle of this vast ocean of grasses waving in the breeze?
It's like they heard us making fun of it, and they're like, fuck you guys. We're putting this guy in the widest open field. Like, it's
He's on his
America's
own planet.
250th birthday party. He's just the only thing on this landscape of nothingness.
You can see the horizon curve so that you know there's nothing even past the
so
horizon.
funny.
It's just
We're
his
not-
own little planetoid.
We're not in his yard. We're not on his farm. We're in the middle of the prairie. It's a place where humans have not even settled. There's nothing around here. We don't even know how he got here.
It
Hey,
would
like-
be very good. It would be very good if in a video game or something, I can picture them like, you poodle up on a little rocket and then it bumps into the little planet. You hop off and Brad's just there all by himself. I'm like, that's adorable. That's
Yeah.
an adorable little scene. I get
Little
it.
exclamation point over his head. Yeah, Jason
he gives
tweeted
you
a
a little
screenshot of
plus.
this where with the subtitles. Willie says, "That must be him," and then Huck says, "Yeah."
I would love it if it was not him. If that was not their witness. Just a different guy idling out in the middle of that
Different
field.
guy. He's waiting for a different monster hunting show. No, I'm finding Bigfoot.
I
I'm
work here
Finding
as a
Bigfoot
scarecrow,
guy.
man. You
You
get
got
out.
it.
I'm at work. Get the fuck out of here.
So Brad is a very large man. They decide to goof on that for a while because I guess Buck is in his really catty post-weight loss phase. Buck says, I think you'd fit right in on this team. The hat, the bibs. Willie says, I don't know that he's big enough. And he says it in kind of a quiet way that's not
Yeah,
very
he's not
funny.
sure he knows this guy well enough to make this joke.
Yeah. And Brad says, if I was any bigger, it'd take 3 of you to see me. And they all laugh. And then Wild Bill says, well, you got a point there. That's
he?
not what you say.
That's not how that.
Buck did have
Also,
a point that he would fit in because he does. Brad looks like every Ames team like merged into one. He is.
Yeah, I get the setup to that joke. I just don't think the end of a joke where the very large guy being made fun of takes power back a little bit and says like, well, take 3 of you to see me. And then, yeah, you got a point. You're a very big guy.
Yeah, should have let the
Yeah,
joke land.
that was.
It
we
was
were
mean to
laughing
step
about
on that.
just now.
They're not trained
I also-
improv actors, though. They just had
I would
5
love it
6
if-
seasons. I'm sorry, I keep interrupting.
I would love it if when Buck told him, well, you'd fit right in with this group, if Brad just started swinging on him.
The fuck did you just say?
Like the meanest thing you could say to
Yep.
somebody.
It's clear he doesn't want to, though. Like none of that joking was like, "Oh, I'll join up on the team." It's just all at his expense. So Buck tells Brad that they're hot on the trail of the Grafton monster because they found his idiot TP and heard him kill a dog. So, like, really wrapping the noose tight on this case.
And
But
Brad's
they
like,
haven't-
yeah, dude, my dad told me about that guy that turns dogs inside out.
They mention now that that dog was mutilated, that actually was on your farm. That's why we're talking to you. This is on your land. It's like, oh, so you do just go onto people's land.
Because this is news to him.
Yeah.
This is not like we asked. We went out here looking. No, he's like, I just met you. Are you saying you've been on my property? Like, just swinging. So Brad is going to tell his story. Brad has a little story about the Grafton monster, and Brad has voice modulation disorder, and so he's going to shout the entire story. And he tells the legend of Ron Goldschmidt, who once spotted the Grafton monster on his dirt bike. That's the story.
That's
the
story.
legend of
from in the 60s, in the 1960s.
in the 1960s.
This is wrong in 800 different directions. Because first of all, he says, oh yeah, this is it's been going on a long time. My dad told me a story. And it's like, oh, his dad encountered the Grafton monster. It's like, no, my dad told me a story of a different kid back in the 1960s who used to ride his dirt bike around here, and the kid's name was Ron Goldschmidt. Gives the full name of the kid. And like, oh, you're thinking,
legend.
oh, he freaking got killed by the Grafton monster. And he's like, no. And so Ron he come out and ride his dirt bike around the farm, around this fence out here, which I guess been there 50 years. And he says, yeah, it's mid to late 1960s. It was a dark evening, and he came off this down to the bottom of the hill, and his headlights hit this creature. And it was 6.5, 7 feet tall, and its head was down, like in his chest. And in response to that, Buck says, wow. And then Buck's like, well, there's something about when a beam of light hits this Grafton monster. And it flashes back to Huckleberry's story when he shined the light on. It's like, well, no, in your story, the light's not what enraged it. It was when your dog attacked it. Remember your dog, your brave dog started gnawing at his genitals? That's what made it angry.
Okay, so in the flashback, they flash back to Huckleberry telling his story, and he says he saw the Grafton monster and he was paralyzed with fear, right? And then Ron Goldschmidt saw the Grafton monster in the headlight of his motorcycle. Not specified whether or not he was paralyzed with fear, but the implication is because Huckleberry was paralyzed with fear, they were both paralyzed with fear.
Sure.
Grafton monster was also just with his rippling abs and huge
Luscious thighs.
Just a real quick aside. I like that we can see the male gaze in Huckleberry's story about the Grafton monster. Just like starts at the chest and
Just
lingers
taking
down.
it all in.
Just keeps going down and down. Huckleberry said he was paralyzed, and Buck got confused and is like, "Oh, lights paralyze him." No, lights.
Yeah.
Lights, if anything, paralyze Huckleberry. Like
I think they were making fun of Terry
sorry,
for the
cum
glow
gutters.
sticks.
Bigfoot cum
but like,
gutters
I think
paralyze
maybe
Huckleberry.
Terry's onto something with all these glow sticks. Like maybe they decided, let's do Terry's thing. Let's have light do
They
a thing to Grafton monster.
They don't say that. They don't credit Terry for
know.
his brilliant invention that he brought. Nobody thinks to credit Terry for the cones, the rods, and the wavelengths. That was all Terry. And like he's got to be so mad after he signed off on this show.
Yeah.
All they did was crap on him for saying that. They just kept calling him crazy.
And now they're going to use his fucking idea.
Yep. So he says he's 6.5 to 7 feet tall, as wide as he is tall, which obviously makes him a shack cube. Very rare shack cube. And then he describes exactly the Grafton monster, like someone who saw a picture of the Grafton monster, lives where it's famously sighted all the time. He called up these Grafton monster hunters, but he never calls them that. He seems like he's never heard of the Grafton monster. He's like,
this is the Ron Goldschmidt monster.
Yes.
See, here's because he continues said, well, and the exact words from Brad. Well, we talking about when his dad told him the legend of Ron Goldschmidt seeing the monster. He's like, well, let me tell you, I always thought it was a bunch of hooey. But then one night he was on his four-wheeler and drove to that exact spot 50 years later, and he sees the Grafton monster and then says, and he says the same thing. He's like, I locked eyes with it, and it looked into my soul. And he says, and I'll tell you, these teenagers in town, since that happened, word got around town. And it's like a rite of passage now. These kids go out to Ron Goldschmidt Hill, the name of the hill, and they stand there and hoot and holler and shine lights up the hill to try to get the Grafton monster to come out. And he's like, I put signs up all over telling them, beware the Grafton monster. He's like, but these kids, it's like they've got a death wish. And so in the Buck's like, yeah, these kids going up to Ron Goldschmidt Hill to try to see the legendary Grafton monster. And let's stop and slam on the brakes for a moment.
We were moving
This
too
team
fast.
has been in the Tiger Valley for over a year. And they were totally unaware that it's famous for being where the Grafton monster lives. Buck only found out the Grafton monster was here because he did audio CSI from the hunt they did 9 years ago. In the intervening 9 years, they never found out that there's a second location where the Grafton monster lives, to the point that they named a hill after the guy who saw it. And all of the kids in the area, it's a rite of passage. They all come out to that hill to see the Grafton monster. So Buck had to go digging into their audio files to try to match up the sound of a roar to see if it was the same creature. Meanwhile, unbeknownst to them, They lived here for a while. Remember
Yeah.
when Willie built that lean-to and they all canonically slept in a nude pile? They lived there full time. They spoke to a dozen different witnesses by this point. They ate and slept there night after night, and at no point did the world's finest monster hunters find out, even on accident, that, oh, by the way, this is famously where the Grafton monster lives. Everybody here knows it. All of the kids, it's a standard ritual. For 2 generations have been coming to the spot where it always shows up. And this is the first time they've heard about it.
Yeah.
It's not great for your witness to tell your monster hunter team, the local children, they do your job as a joke. They do what you're doing
Yeah, they
now
think
as
it's
a
funny.
joke amongst
At the
themselves.
hotel here, next to the canoe rental pamphlet, is a "Come see the Grafton Monster Hill" pamphlet.
They got a statue where he has a big ass and everybody comes out and touches it for luck. Like, you just didn't know. I think this might be a little controversial, but I think, and this might bear out based on, I haven't seen the rest of this season, I think Buck might be a fucking idiot.
I think you might be right.
And because here's where I first began suspecting it. So Brad tells them of the legend of Ron Goldschmidt Hill, and he says these exact words: "You'll know the spot because the locals have put up a sign that says the legend of Ron Goldschmidt." And Wild Bill says, "The legend of Ron Goldschmidt, huh?" And Buck cuts away to testimonial, and Buck says, "Brad says that over the years, somebody has put up a sign that says the legend of Ron Goldschmidt. We find that sign, we're going to be right exactly where we need to be."
He's onto something.
They are now going to go on a hunt, acting like they are searching for the lost Ark of the Covenant. Like they are following the mysterious riddles of like the landscape. And if we get here to this spot, I think this is the spot they were telling me about, where again, instead of referencing an ancient etching that they found and a riddle that's in the Old Testament, it's a guy saying, yes, it's along my fence line. Like he mentions, I was down there maintaining my fence because we have to keep the brush away from the fence so we can see if it's been damaged, keep the cows in it. Follow the fence down here at the bottom of the hill. You'll see it. It's
There's a
on
sign.
his land. And also there's a sign, and they're going to spend the rest of this episode acting like they will be the first humans to lay eyes on this thing.
I think Buck thought
famous
he invented...
tourist spot.
Yes, I think Buck thought at the time when he's saying, "My God, if we find that sign, we're gonna know where we are."
Where we are. It's
I think he thought he just invented signs.
right. It's like when you get directions
independent.
to Santa Cruz and you're like, "Oh, we're 40 minutes away from the Bigfoot Museum. We're gonna break this case wide open."
And then you find the exit that says Bigfoot Museum this way, and you're like, I think if we follow that sign,
Guys,
we're going to be right where we need
we're
to
real
be.
I
close.
think we will have discovered the Bigfoot Museum. We will have a Bigfoot Museum sighting on film.
So Buck starts this hunt. They head on out, and Buck kind of gives them their little mission speech, and he says, "Well, guys, sounds like we might need to find Goldschmidt Hill." He's still not sure.
Yeah.
It's still a question.
Yeah. Take the local tour. Go to a local high schooler's sleepover, and then you'll be there. No,
Also
don't
came out at
go
night.
to a local high schooler's sleepover, Buck.
Came out, they had to do this in the middle of the night because, the hill is nocturnal.
Yeah.
But also Wild Bill's not there because they said Wild Bill had to take a sick day because now he has COVID.
got
now,
the COVID.
because Buck
Again,
gave him
this
hope.
is shot in
COVID, yeah.
2021, like early 2021, I think. And so the comedy music kicks in, and Buck says, "Well, I know that Jeff is missing Wild Bill, so I figured I'd cheer him up with a couple of Wild Bill impressions." And the bit just goes nowhere. He does.
He
like
says,
the-
"Here are his Wild Bill impressions." He says, "Ha! Exactly like that." That's his Wild Bill impression. And then he says, "Primo, bro." That's his Wild Bill impression. Those are the two things that he says. He's done talking. That was it.
Comedy rule of zeros again.
I do like that he's kind of honoring Wild Bill's absence by doing impressions in a perfectly normal voice, because that's what Wild Bill does.
That's true. That is true.
All of us.
Also, Buck mentions that now when we go looking for this Ron Goldschmidt Hill, you have to keep in mind that at any moment we could encounter the Grafton Monster. Like we could get interrupted on our way to find this hill. We have to make sure to avoid the Grafton Monster so we can find this hill, which will give us clues on how to find the Grafton Monster.
And meanwhile, the Grafton Monster is half a mile above them, just rocketing down, just flames from his re-entry into the earth.
It was just up there to feed.
So he knows they've got a hot lead, and that lead is they need to look for the sign that says where the hill is. He's still not there. He's still working on it. The rest of this episode, he's working on the premise of signs. I think legitimately what's happening is that he's trying to no-sell a mystery, kind of like, oh, there's a mystery here, but like it's not going to get the better of me. But then that mystery is a sign, and it is getting the better of him.
Right,
I think it is.
The kids visit all the time, and it's not like it's going to get more humiliating because on the way there, Willie sticks his hand in something, and it's like, ooh, what could this be that I have my hand in? And they do that for a bit, and then they realize, oh, it's cat shit. I'm playing in cat shit with my bare hands.
No punchline for that one. They just basically say we openly regret doing that.
Yep. Shouldn't have done this.
And then move on.
Yeah, like he might have really been doing it.
This is one of the few moments that I do think they walked out of that scene and Willie was like, you're going to cut that one, right?
Absolutely, because they start the comedy music, but it doesn't go anywhere.
Nobody gives a punchline. Nobody tries. No. Willie's just like, oh, I think I just put my hand in some cat shit. That's not happy about that.
I think they try to decide it's like a bobcat, but no, this is where people live. It's probably just a house cat's shit.
It's a farm cat.
Also, you're in the woods.
That's where
you would expect to find that kind of thing. You go digging around in the dirt. You're an experienced hunter. If Wild Bill were there, he would have eaten it.
Yeah, that's true.
For the bit, he would have known. So they hear a noise. They hear a noise, and then Jeff checks the thermal. And my God, finally, something happens in this episode. Because nothing has happened. I know we've said that before, but they keep setting the bar, and this is the highest the bar has ever been for nothing happening in episode.
They looked through an old box for the 20th time.
They throw the thermal, and Jeff has a shape out there. And we know it's something because it has a clearly defined head and shoulders, which the Grafton Monster does not have.
It's a Shek cube. And this is not a thermal blob of a Shek cube.
They forgot the monster.
But this is an emergency because Huckleberry says, if this is the Grafton Monster, this would be worse than us walking face first into a wood chipper. Again, treating the Grafton Monster as an obstacle to the thing they're actually trying to do, which is
find the local sign.
To Ron Goldschmidt Hill. They want to see Ron Goldschmidt Hill now. They got all the little books.
50 years ago, he had a dirt bike. Are you guys not hearing this?
He had his name on the back of his jacket.
If they now think that they're hunting Ron Goldschmidt, and it's like,
I know.
Now remember,
I see the confusion. Ron Goldschmidt was the name of the originator. You're hunting Ron Goldschmidt's monster. So yeah, they're finding Ron Goldschmidt Hill again. I just want to. We have hit this point, but it's just this guy's property, and in fact, he said a teenager, Ron Goldschmidt, would drive it every single day on his dirt bike. It's a well-traveled piece of property that they're pretending is out in the middle of the fucking woods and they can't find. So they spread out an approach, doing a pincer movement on this. I guess Ron Goldschmidt shaped monster, because they've forgotten the Grafton Monster does not have a head. It's called the Headless Horror.
Right.
Its head is in the middle of his chest.
They should know it's not the Grafton Monster, but
yes,
they don't.
And then they hear the most terrifying sound, and we've said this before. The most terrifying thing you can encounter in the forest is man. That's what the meme was about. They encounter that here, and they find engines. They hear engines in the woods, and then they see lights.
This could be Ron
they
Goldschmidt.
figure-
This could be the ghost of Ron Goldschmidt.
The ghost, that was my first thought, was ghost of Ron Goldschmidt. Fuck yes. Let's pivot. Let's pivot hard and just hunt down, even if it's not a ghost, even if it's just like a real cool guy. Like he's a 70-year-old man still riding his dirt bike in the woods at night.
There's no reason Ron Goldschmidt can't still be around. Why don't you go talk to him? Huckleberry is still alive.
It's true.
He's
was
the
a bad
same
witness,
age
though.
as you.
He didn't talk for 50 years. They don't like to talk about these things. So Buck goes to testimonial and says, "This is bad news because if there's one rule the Ames team has, it's we fly under the radar."
You're filming a TV show.
The best. It's the best. He says the dumbest fucking shit. I think your theory might be right, Brockway. He could be a stupid man.
It says the last thing they need is somebody coming along and ruining their hunt, and then specifically mentions fans and groupies that might have hunted down where they are.
This was like my quote of the episode. Buck says,
You can-
Literally
in
says
all
they
seriousness,
could be.
word may be out that we're here. Maybe fans.
As though it happens all the time.
They just get like autograph hounds might be looking. They're not looking for the Grafton Monster, but for selfies with the greatest Grafton Monster hunters.
The one guy in the show they've run into that had heard of the show Mountain Monsters hated it.
Hated it. Absolutely hated
And
them.
told him,
Yeah, I
said
heard
it
your
right to
bullshit.
Buck's face.
Get off my fucking property. Was he like, I've heard of your show. Get off my property.
Everyone else, Buck has to lie about what show they're there to
He's
show.
always so embarrassed when he has to explain. He's like, "We're doing like a thing. I don't. God damn it. We're like, it's a show about.
It's like a nature documentary.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, guys.
Okay.
So now he's worried about groupies hunting them down in the middle of the woods, having, I don't know, geo-tracked their location. So they all scatter like shy children and lay down in the grass, and they've determined, as they're scattering and hiding from who knows, it's actually three teenagers on a couple of four-wheelers.
We don't know that they're not
And
fans.
all the grown men.
They might have come here to make Jeff pee and get shot by Huckleberry because he does have his gun drawn on them.
Huckleberry is aiming his gun at them. He's aiming his assault rifle at them. I've not been pointing out, because I thought people would find it tedious, but hey, why hold back? That every time they hear a branch snap, they all spin and aim their guns at the branch snap. When they keep emphasizing, we are on a farm, like they will keep emphasizing, well, Terry's farm is within, we can hear it. We can hear the cows. Like we're in shouting distance of the farm. It's right over there. Because they keep emphasizing, that's why the Grafton Monster, like this trail leads right to his farm. And then every time they hear a branch snap, they all turn and point their guns.
They straight up drew down on Terry when he drove up to them on his own farm.
They do it over and over again. When someone pulls up, when someone walks up, when someone makes a noise, when they hear a noise, they turn and draw down on it. Please, if you're listening to this, do not do that. Do not do that. Again, like they're out there to hunt. That's not how you hunt. You don't hunt by walking around and you hear a deer behind you and then wheel around and open fire on it. That's not what hunting looks like.
They love to sneak up on you, though, those deer.
Mm-hmm.
They'll sneak right up on you.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I want to give them a little bit of credit because I do think it seems crazy, but if you think about it, this was the correct reaction. Because the last thing that you want to happen when you're out in the middle of the woods playing like a Bigfoot LARP with a bunch of grown men is some teenagers coming along and seeing it.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah, because if they film that, your lives are over. Oh, wait, you're filming it yourself.
Yeah, right. But still, you don't... Like, they're going to have something to say. They're going to say some, like, slang that you've never heard before. They're going to call you unk.
It's going to wither.
Or they could edit the footage in a way that embarrasses you. Oh, wait, your own editors do that.
However, they could make you go viral on TikTok. Oh, wait, you've never managed to do that.
Sadder and sadder.
So the teens stop and they get off their bikes and they start calling out, "Randy, Randy!" And Willie thinks he says they lost one of their buddies.
Yeah,
okay.
they're writing, but they keep very carefully not saying human. They're like, "Oh, he must be a human, Randy."
He must be a human, Randy.
Because they want it to be a big reveal
Bigfoot.
when it turns out Randy's a dog. Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, first, Buck and Huckleberry get up and start heading towards them when they suddenly hear 3 shots. And Buck says, like, oh, ancient woodsman knowledge tells me that means, a lost person is firing their gun either to be found or somebody looking for them is firing the gun for the lost person to come towards. That's real.
It is, yeah, it's real. Like, if you're hurt in the woods, you shoot 3 shots. But it's not how you call your dog. If your dog's missing, you don't put bullets into the sky.
Then they reveal... they reveal eventually that Randy is in fact a dog. So either they train the dog to reply to run up on 3 gunshots,
sure,
which is a little crazy, or my theory, a dog got a gun.
Oh, and the dog's in trouble.
Yeah, the dog's in trouble.
That does make sense.
Anyway, that dog is rad as hell.
Yeah,
that dog fucking kicks ass. Maybe he's shooting at Ron
He
Goldschmidt
rides its own
out there,
4-wheeler, has its own rifle.
Wait, do we know for sure that Ron Goldschmidt was a guy?
Oh, shit, you're right.
I mean, they said he was 14 years old. That's up there for a dog, but you can still be pretty spry.
Dog can still ride a dirt bike at 14. There's no rules against
Still for sure. I've checked. So they get up to head towards the kids. And back at the other team, it's Willie and Jeff have split off. So it's Buck and Huckleberry heading towards the kids. Willie and Jeff say they hear something big stomping around on the ground right outside the blinds. So they're hiding in the blinds, I guess, from the teenagers.
Yeah, they've retreated to their Grafton Monster blinds to hide from the children.
Buck and Huckleberry just laid down on the ground and turned their lights off.
And
Jeff
their
and
guns
Willie
at them.
retreated into their secret fort to hide from potentially mean children. It's just incredible. And now they're pretending that Bigfoot's out there. Ignore that. That won't come up again. Buck and Huckleberry get to the teens, and Buck says, hold on. Now, we don't want to intimidate or scare them. So he asks Huckleberry to stay behind and gives Huckleberry his gun. He gives him his shotgun. And he says he's going to approach the kids alone because, in his words, he has worked with juveniles for the last 16, 17 years. And so Buck knows how to handle juveniles. He knows how to handle kids. He hands Huckleberry a shotgun. He walks over to the distressed teens and, using all the expertise he's nurtured over 2 decades, proceeds to just beat the shit out of them. It's so funny. It's so funny to say to a guy, well, like, some teens are in trouble, and you say to a guy, hold on, I've worked with kids for 20 years. I know how to handle this. And you walk over there and just start swinging.
It's so funny. You're skipping ahead. He comes and talks like a cop at him for like 1 sentence, and they hate him, and they're like, whoever you are, stranger in the woods, fuck you.
I am going to get to what happens, but that's like skipping ahead, handing Huckleberry a shotgun, being like, I got this. I know the teen mindset. And then like a minute and a half later, you're in a full-blown fist fight with all of them is an extremely funny thing to do. So Buck walks up on them and starts just hollering if he can help. And they're immediately on guard, which why would you be on guard? It's just a weird middle-aged, potentially pervert walking out of the dark while your dog is missing to ask if he can help.
Offering to help.
No. You saw in the darkness this man lying flat in the weeds with another man, and you saw him get up out of the weeds and approach you. Like, that's weird. That's a cryptid.
Yeah.
Like, I'm surprised they didn't start shooting him as the Grafton Monster. Like, no, look, this is just what the guy said. As wide as he is tall, 800, 1,500 pounds. Like, that's the freaking Grafton Monster looking right into my soul.
Yeah.
I saw it emerge from the earth.
Wait, no, bro, hold on,
It's 2
bro.
in the morning in the middle of the woods.
Bro, he said rippling chest muscles, abs, like full cum gutters, ripped thighs. We're good. It's not him.
Yeah,
it's not him.
This is a Kirby. This is a Woods Kirby.
So, for some reason, the teens don't like it that a weird middle-aged man walked out of the dark in the middle of the woods to ask if they needed help as their dog mysteriously goes missing. Like, why would you be off-put by that? Buck again offers to help them, but he keeps saying it in like this way. You guys need help or something? Like it's kind of a pussy thing to do to help somebody. He might be worried, like, I don't want people to see me being like girly trying to help.
Oh, you're missing your Randy, you little babies.
They are shining a flashlight in his eyes. He does have a headlamp shining back at them, so I would say that's fair play. But he starts saying, he starts saying, like, you got to get that light out of my eyes. You got to get that light off of me. Like, the aggression is fully on his part. And
agreed.
one of the kids...
It's prison guard orders.
Yeah.
It's like, you need to get that light out of my eyes. It's like he immediately is asserting authority over the scene that he doesn't have. It's like, we're all a bunch of freaks out in the woods at 2 a.m. Like, we're all breaking the law one way or the other. Like, all of us are high. Like, let's not act like you're Mr., morality police out here.
One of the kids even says, like, they repeatedly say, we don't want your help, we don't need your help, in what is a fairly even way. One of the kids even says, we're good, so it's fine. You can leave. And it's just, all of this is fake, obviously, but it's clear they didn't work out this improv at all in advance, because Buck seems to think that's the cue to start fighting. Because he says, hey, you got a problem or something? I'm not here trying to fight you guys, and then immediately starts fighting. All three of them, Buck alone, doing full Steven Seagal wrist lock rolls.
It's so funny that they did this.
Here's the thing. In the last couple of episodes, we've watched them try to stage straight up sketch comedy with props, with cutaways, and at no point did I even crack a smile. And in fact, it was physically painful to watch. But him handing his gun and his radio to Huckleberry saying, hey, I've worked with juveniles. Let me go out here and talk to these guys. And then after a 15-second exchange that he escalates, they're fighting on the ground and just swinging. They're trying to kill each other. Like, they're just all out. That is funnier than anything I've ever written
funny.
It was really
or
good.
said. It's so perfect. And they think they've staged, because they're going to cut to black on this. Like, will these youths kill Buck? They're going to cut the black on this middle-aged man just beating up these children. They emphasize these are children. I work with juveniles. They don't even say, like, well, they're guys. They're like, we don't, like, no, because at one point he even asked, like, how old are you? And the kid's like, I'm old enough to kick your ass, old man. Like, no, let's make it clear. These are under 18. They are children that Buck is fighting.
Because he has the expertise. He knows how to identify when the children are underage.
This maybe doesn't need to get said, but there is no... If the number of arm movements Buck would have to make to kill 3 children, he would die so long before he completed those movements. Just his heart would give out long before he's killed one of these kids.
I don't know. He's lost a lot of weight. He's in fighting children shape now.
That's
also,
generous.
How did he lose that weight? You assume surgery or drugs or something.
No. Crushing boys.
Straight child fighting.
See, I don't even know what we can joke about, because when he says, I have experience with juveniles, he worked at a detention facility.
Yes.
Like, he's a corrections officer. Like, what other job could he have where it would be appropriate to say it like that? Like, if you were a school teacher, you would not say, I work with juveniles. He means delinquents. Like, that's, and so he does know how to subdue youths. Like, that is his profession. I assume he does know how to do it.
Okay.
It's weird that they wrote that into their Bigfoot show, and it's weird that he still works there. At least he claimed, like, he leaves to go work there all the time. So, like, were his... Like, the people, like, do the inmates know this is, like, how weird would that be if you got sent to jail for doing something, you got caught with weed or something, you had to go do 6 months at this, and it's like, is that Buck from Mountain Monsters? Is my prison guard? I have to do what Buck says? Like, did I die? Is this a hallucination I'm having as I'm lying dead from where the police shot me? Is that what's happening?
They don't quite cut to black yet. Buck starts fighting them, and Huckleberry runs in to join the fight, not to break up Buck, but to start fighting his own. One of the teenagers is not involved and standing there, and Huckleberry runs in and just starts fighting that last kid.
Yeah, to be clear, he does not run in and say, hey, back off, guys. No, he goes pinwheeling in, arms flailing. He is just...
Not going to miss a brawl.
I just obviously this is fake, but I just imagine this scene from the point of view of the children who have driven out into the woods and are yelling for their lost dog. And then a weird pervert comes out of the woods and just starts fighting both of them. And then their friend is standing there like, I don't know what to do. And then something that looks like Huckleberry comes loping out of the darkness. It's the scariest fucking moment of your life.
Yeah.
This
is a Rob Zombie movie.
He emerges from the earth with a machine gun.
2, because he has bucks.
Okay. If that sighting on that hill where Ron Goldschmidt briefly saw a monster 50 years ago is enough to get that hill permanently named after him, this fight would be enough to get that entire woods named after these 3 kids, because their story is 10 times wilder than Ron Goldschmidt's lame thing where he thought he saw a thing one time. And by the way, how bored are the people in this town that that's all it takes to become a legend? What a show.
And that's what they throw to the highest possible tension.
Just dead
and
silence.
I'll agree with it. It's the funniest moment. I'm like, this is why we watch. This is why we watch the show.
Of course, they always bring us back in.
They brought us back.
Of course they do.
Lost so hard this episode. My God, nothing happened. But then you pull me back in right at the end.
They're the best.
It's an abusive relationship.
Yeah,
is what it is.
That's a good way to describe it.
All right. Did we have any favorite quotes? Jason.
So this one comes from the Sons of Appalachia YouTube page.
God damn
it. I'm sorry. I apologize. I have to take a moment to gather myself. This is unsigned because when they started Sons of Appalachia, the organization, the production company, they called themselves Creepy People Studios. So I don't know who wrote the statement. But on the YouTube page after their most recent video, we've become aware of the social media posts making a number of accusations against our team at the production of Sons of Appalachia. We want our viewers and supporters to know that these allegations are false and misrepresent how our company operates. Every dollar contributed to our production is managed responsibly and used to support our equipment, travel, production expenses, and the creation of content for our audience. We have never intentionally misled or deceived our supporters. While we respect that everyone is entitled to their opinion, knowingly publishing false statements that damage the reputation of our company and the people involved is a serious matter. We are currently reviewing these statements with legal counsel and are considering all available legal remedies. Out of respect for our supporters, this will be the only public statement we make on the matter while we evaluate our next steps with counsel. To everyone who has supported us, believed in our vision, and continues to stand with us, thank you. Your trust means everything, and our focus remains on creating the best content possible. Sons of Appalachia is not going anywhere, nor do we back down from a fight.
Now, this is obviously about something very serious, right?
We actually don't know the context, the full context. The social media post they reference, it is very vague. It references them like wasting materials or wasting eggs or something. It will all become apparent in the fullness of time. I'm just saying that while we're having to slog through these final episodes that even the Ames team did not seem to want to make very much, in the background is apparently chaos occurring as the divide, this House of the Dragon style divide between these two houses continues to get uglier.
I just, it's always a sign of how well your community is doing when you start threatening to sue your commenters.
Yeah, you got your
Historically, how has that gone on the internet? Real good, right?
Yeah.
I'm assuming real good? Won a lot of those lawsuits?
And again, they have a legal team?
Yeah, I don't think I believe any of that.
I think they have a lawyer. I think it's AI. We've seen their art. We've seen their merch.
Yeah, that's true. They
definitely
do
have
AI.
a lawyer telling them, that's a good point. I think you have a really good case. Let's escalate this
They
all
said,
the
what?
way.
About eggs? Oh, yeah. That's millions.
This isn't just
You can
an
get
insult.
millions.
It's a crime.
It's a crime.
Okay, that's pretty good. My favorite quote is from this episode. It's when the teenager says to Buck, "Come on, you old fuck, let's go." What a rad fucking kid.
Yeah. Awesome kid.
It's a shame he's gonna go ahead.
I have a couple. One that I liked where Wild Bill just kind of summed up the Grafton Monster. He's son of a bitch, and Grafton Monster is a vicious son of a bitch. I thought that was nice. But what I really liked is when Jeff was peeing and Wild Bill decided he didn't know which line they were going to use, so he just tried them all. He says, Jeffro wasn't BSing about having to take a whiz. When Buck cut that hole up, looked like somebody opened a fire hydrant up wide open. Looked like Old Faithful gushing out. He got more on his damn boots than he did on the damn ground, and he continued from there. We don't need to do them all, but he really had a lot to say about Jeff peeing out of the duct tape gimp suit.
Yeah, we had to. I mean, let's take our props here. Let's give credit to ourselves. We had to slog through a lot of Jeff piss play just to get to this, just to get to the gold of Buck fighting some children.
And Huckleberry, too.
And in fact, if you feel like I was cheating by using that legal statement as my quote of the episode, my favorite quote would probably be when Buck says, "Get that light out of my eyes, son." And the kid just says, "No."
Well, 17 years of trading, of expertise in this, just embarrassing the shit out of myself in front of my friend.
What a show.
Amazing.
You know what? Let me do. You all did multiple quotes. I'm gonna do one of mine.
Let's hear it.
This is when they were taping up Jeff. As Wild Bill, we hadn't seen that yet. So the scene is Wild Bill is pulling up on his little Forest golf cart. He hears the giggling. He doesn't know what it's about, and he hears Jeff go, "Tee hee hee! Get that spot! Don't miss anything now! By God, get me fully covered up!"
Because you have to be a Bigfoot feature. You have to open up your mouth. You have to be a Bigfoot feature. All your friends are so knocked out. You had to have the last word last night. You know what everything's about. You had to have the white hot spotlight. You had to be a Bigfoot last night. Whoa, whoa.